Hey everyone, welcome to the QiDao Fireside Chat. Alex, thank you for joining us here. Alex is from the Chainstack team. He's Chief Growth Officer, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's a fancy name. It just means that I try I try to get as many customers on board and get part of the communities and just get Chainstack out there to get as many people to know about it as possible. So that's quite
Perfect.
cool.
Well, hopefully we get some people here. So a little introduction for those who might not know. QiDao is a stablecoin protocol. It's the first native stablecoin protocol on Polygon. And what we let you do is take your tokens and lock them up and then borrow stablecoins from those tokens. So essentially you can use your tokens without actually selling them. And it's 0% interest, so it gives you some flexibility there. But turning to Alex here, could you tell us a little bit about yourself personally and how you got into blockchain?
Sure. So I've been in blockchain for about, I think, since 2017. So it was the beginning of the ICO wave. And I started as founding team member at Ocean Protocol. So decentralized data exchange, you're seeing now. The project has grown even after I've left in 2019. But that was like the very first stint at crypto and blockchain. And after that, I've been working with a number of other super interesting projects. I've been leading operations and ecosystem growth at Ocean Protocol, and then I moved on to doing that with Space Chain. Super cool, by the way. This week they launched again with SpaceX. So that's the second. This time, first time when I was involved, it was a Bitcoin node, first Bitcoin node installed onto the International Space Station (ISS) through SpaceX. And this week they launched on an Ethereum node. So it's like super, super edgy, and it was such a pleasure. It's such a like things of dreams. Like Elon Musk is chatty, but the space team is actually doing real crypto infrastructure in space. So that was the second big involvement before moving on to Chainstack. But in between, of course, I'm advising and consulting. I'm also founder and CEO of a consulting firm called Labs. And with that, I've been angel investing, consulting, and advising on other projects on the Polygon ecosystem, on the wider Ethereum ecosystem. So it's quite nice. It's a good place where to be. Love the industry.
It looks like you have a lot of experience there, and yeah, for sure, Elon's not making any friends over here.
No. It depends with the wind. It depends on the wind. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. No, here at the Polygon space, I think we've done a little like good to stay away from those fluctuations, but you're not fully divorced from all that stuff, so it's still a lot. So for those who might not be involved so much in the development of projects, could you tell us a little bit about how the blockchain infrastructure scene is like?
Sure. So I think eventually, like everyone is building fancy projects, and everyone is very busy building superb application with cutting edge cryptography. But eventually, all comes down to, do you have nodes that are running in a decentralized manner? It's very hard to justify the decentralized name to a project without the infrastructure actually being decentralized. And I think if you have to picture me in the role within the blockchain space, you really have to picture me the spanner and the screwdriver and do the piping, because that's what Chainstack does, and what the infrastructure at the core is really optimizing and making sure that there are no blockages. It's not a very fancy way. In fact, we actually say that Chainstack is a boring company, because we just enable the projects to succeed. But when it comes to infrastructure, you have to see, for the majority, like you have a division between those who are mining and those who are running applications, and they need just access to the decentralized network through the nodes and access to the data on chain. So for those who are mining, of course, it's a whole industry on its own with their pros and cons. But what I think it's grown exponentially lately is really the accessibility of nodes for the projects that are out there. They really need someone who is an expert. They cannot you cannot do it all. You cannot be like a super invested marketeer and leading a community and then have all the tokenomics that are working perfectly well, and then do all the biz dev, everything that goes with it, and also then do also the DevOps. That on its own is quite taxing. You would have to have an entire team and spend quite a bit of money on optimizing, getting your own cloud, deciding AWS, not AWS, or go all the way, in a decentralized manner, even though it's not, still performing. So that's what, companies like Chainstack do. We take away that pain and we use passion and expertise in DevOps and apply it onto blockchain. Hope that kind of answered. I get very chatty when it comes to infrastructure, especially.
No worries. Yeah, we want to hear about it. So it seems like you guys walk projects through the beginning to the end. Could you maybe talk about like the specific products that you offer within Chainstack?
Sure. So you can see we initially were, and we still are actually, just at the meeting point between enterprise and Web3. And that was done on purpose. That was quite an interesting positioning, because businesses and enterprises have approached blockchain, but in a very, very different way. So they've gone through permissioned blockchains like QiDao, Hyperledger, and have been a little bit iffy about Web3 and decentralization. And then you have, the entire world of Web3, where everything is absolutely moving at lightning speed. So you need a partner that can, I think, marry the two. Right. Mm-hmm. And that's what Chainstack proposition is, to be completely agnostic. So we are like a blank sheet of paper where projects can come and decide which is the best project or the best protocol to build on, and then get a lot of flexibility on how they want to do it. So sometimes someone wants to get their own cloud in certain geographies. Other times they don't want to have any outsider to touch on the data, so they can do it on-prem. Chainstack does all of it. So for Polygon in particular, which we just launched actually, by the way, it's just 3 weeks, even though we've been at it for quite some time. And we started with RPC, public endpoints. And if I can have a little bit of bragging, right? A little bit, it's really performing, really superbly, even though we've just launched it. We have spent so much energy and time on optimizing it. And I think that touches also on the, pain points of scalability and layer twos, and how that will always be there. But then it's also exciting, because that's where the cutting edge comes into play, right? That's when DevOps needs to be at the cutting edge. Like, if you are not challenging our team as, DevOps engineers that are devoted to trying new things and experimenting and do a lot of R&D, then you're not doing it right, because we should be growing the ecosystem at a crazy pace, right? And that means super high number of transactions, unbelievable growth, and a lot of speed as well. So like traders and swaps, you have to have high performing networks, but the growth is it's nuts, like really crazy. So you have always to catch up with engineering. Yeah, it's insane.
Especially in Polygon, yeah. So many transactions on Polygon. We've had I think RPC endpoint problems and API problems have been huge.
For sure. Yeah, but so that's what Chainstack also, come into play and say, okay, you want to have the RPC endpoints, fair enough. So far, it has been enough, but the growth and the pace is so high that you have to have alternatives where, projects with big responsibilities towards, their own users may want to have something that is a bit more dedicated, right, for them, or they wouldn't want to have those, pesky limits on usage. That then everyone, I'm pretty sure, the tech teams are not sleeping at night thinking, oh my God, have I hit my limit or not? So something like dedicated nodes is something that we are bringing as a new proposition to the Polygon ecosystem, where someone can come and open, a business account with us, and just with I think it's $300 odd a month, it's unlimited. So you can just go
Polygon
wild.
Projects, I hope you're listening, because I think that's
it's
pretty
new.
Enticing.
Yeah, it's insane, the growth that we're seeing. Even within weeks since launching, we had to the behind the scene is we had to really pump the back end to make sure that everything was literally doubling the resources behind it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of transactions, and some of these infrastructures that people put out there are not ready to handle that volume. But yeah, if you guys are offering nodes for $300 a month, I think you might start getting a lot of messages. Here
Yeah,
you have the
that's.
price. Kila, thank you for
I
putting that
think
there.
it's the idea, and I love working with the Polygon team, like Sandeep,
Oh yeah, no, they're
Anurag, Andra. They are awesome. They really are trying to do the best always for the community, and with that spirit, we came on board. We really wanted to find something that was accessible. That's kind of the mantra Chainstack: be cutting edge and be accessible, because that's, I think, the ethos of Web3 as a whole, right? So you want to push the boundaries and you want to make it accessible to as many people as possible. So that's where Chainstack, really fits in. Prices are, honestly, they're like the lowest in the market, and performance is the top. I mean, we try, like, touch wood, the nose is not going to go down, right?
Yeah, one can only try.
Anytime soon. Yeah, you can only like commit yourself to try the best, but that's in a nutshell, I think, the proposition for Chainstack. To give you an example, we had just published a new story for a company like super interested called Chartex. If you don't know them, they are awesome. They're providing charting, like trading tools and dashboards for Uniswap, and they have Polygon, they have Binance, and they just hit 1 billion requests in 1 month.
Wow.
And on Chainstack, no issues. They were just like breezing through, and it was unbelievable. Like 3 months ago, no way that you could even think of 1 billion requests in a month. So
yeah, I think, and that's cool that you mentioned about accessibility, because I think historically a lot of people have been priced out of using DeFi, right? Because Ethereum's unusable in terms of like gas fees, at least for like the smaller players, unless you're a whale or have that kind of like knowledge on how to go around it. But no, yeah, we're getting a lot of people on Polygon and on our own platform that might be first-time DeFi users, or might be people that used to use Ethereum, stopped because of the prices, and now join. So we're trying to make it as accessible as possible, and that's like price-wise, but also there's a lot that goes into education. That's like a big component of it.
For sure, and if you look at what the role of stablecoins actually is, like I put that really into the infrastructure side as well, right? Like you have to enable the ecosystem to transact and to exchange value in a way that is accessible and even understandable. And I think stablecoins, right, are absolutely fundamental. So especially within the Matic ecosystem is something that it's absolutely needed, and it will grow. So yeah, congrats, Guy, on launching. I think it's an awesome platform with
Oh, it's the street. You can hear it from here.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So where was I? Yeah, I think we would like to go back a little bit and talk about your experience at Chainstack personally. I know you just changed your position, right? So tell us a little bit about that transition.
Yeah. So I joined, I think, just 1 year ago, like almost literally a year ago. It was June 2020, and it was in the middle of the pandemic. So it was like super crazy period to join a team, because of course it was fully remote here in Singapore already. But the role started as both sales and marketing. And then we realized that if you're really looking at it from a holistic point of view, you're looking at overall growth for the company. So because that also bridges into partnerships and collaborations, and that's fundamental. Like you cannot do it alone. It's an ecosystem. Well, I like, because people use the word ecosystem, but sometimes superficially. But if you really look at the root of the word, it's really a system of interdependencies and synergies, right? Like a pond with all the frogs and the little butterflies and everything, right? Everyone is very much needed, and the Web3, it's an ecosystem. So you have to collaborate. You have to work in a community way. So that was the journey within Chainstack. So within a year, I took on as chief growth officer and looking also strategic engagements. And that's also, very interesting for me because I get to speak to awesome teams. We have now, of course, Ethereum and Bitcoin in the portfolio. Recently, Polygon, but we are growing. So I cannot do any spoilers, but one big one is coming very soon. I shall not name, but it's a big ecosystem coming on board. And then another big ecosystem is coming in probably a month and a half or two. And in between, probably one more. So
wow.
Web3
Yeah,
is
it's going to
just...
be L2 summer, so I hope you guys are jumping in.
Absolutely. You have to keep your eyes peeled as we are growing it. And I think as a team, Chainstack is really cool. So it's still a small team. We're a startup. We don't have like super crazy budgets or super like
people?
big. We're around 20.
20. Wow. For compared to QiDao, that's a corporation.
I know, but look at there are many big companies already in the space, right? They are super professionalized and so on. We still got the bootstrapping spirit as a company, and you can feel that everyone is absolutely devoted to customers. If I had to describe what the team is, definitely customer obsessed. We have literally either WhatsApp or Telegram group with almost each customer to have private one-on-one. It's we're there for you guys. Anything that happens, they just WhatsApping us and we're there. And then because we're also curious, we cannot improve the product, we cannot push the boundaries if we don't learn from the users of the platform. Right. So that's what that's I think probably the point that is gluing us together, a sense of continuous learning and experimenting. Actually, our CTO Eugene, he was R&D at Acronis before Kaspersky, so he's coming from a cybersecurity background, and the CEO was also coming from more traditional enterprise background, and the rest of the team, it's a mixed bag of traditional Silicon Valley backgrounds like Airbnb or Google and so on, and then some Web3,
some DJs.
Yes, and others
and
that's others that are coming from a more traditional consulting like Wipro, Suramitsu, and so on. So it's a mixed bag, and everyone is super talented. We are fun, very diverse actually. So it's a mix of where we come from, gender. It's a good split. So it's quite fun.
Yeah, that's good. I mean,
I chat a lot. Stop me.
No, it's good. It's good. We want to hear about that. But yeah, that's good that you guys have a lot of diversity. I think that sometimes you don't really see that in certain projects, especially in technology, DeFi. What do you think about that?
Don't tell me about it. I have two things. One, I 99% of the time I am the only woman in the room, because it's not only it's a mix. It's blockchain and crypto, which is male dominated, and then it's also infrastructure and DevOps, and then it's cybersecurity. So no, it's a hard one, right? But more are coming, so I'm very excited to see that more women are joining in. And in terms of general diversity, it can only be enriching, and I think we can see that it's a message that is sinking in. If I look back when I first joined the industry, 2017, to where we are now, it's totally a different environment. I couldn't hit Telegram with a stick in 2017. It was very different. It was very, very hard environment. And now I think there is appreciation for it, and it's great to see. It's really great to see. It's great to see new founders that are coming from different backgrounds and different genders and orientations and skin colors. It's all cool.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like DeFi is supposed to be this decentralized world where anyone can interact. So, unless you have a good representation of the world, it's a really decentralized. So we have to think about different layers of decentralization. I know you were mentioning that at the beginning.
For sure. Yeah, and I think super interesting that many teams are actually remaining anonymous. that's even better, because then you're just putting the focus on the quality of the product, of the platform, and the code. I know you let the code speak, from sushi chefs and to everything in between, right?
Yeah, I did have a question. What do you think projects, especially young projects like ours, can do to increase their diversity? Because it's very hard sometimes for people to find the talent, find people.
I think you have to be open, because it's just natural that you will try and find someone that is similar to yourself, because it's faster to trust them, right? So especially when you're recruiting. So take that leap. And the other thing that I've seen over and over that unfortunately is there is a bit of what I call lack of benefit of the doubt. So when someone is not what you expect them to look like or to speak like, then you don't give them the benefit of the doubt that they're competent. So you're testing them much more harshly than you would with what is your preset. So that's for sure one thing. And the other is just get the word out there and find allies. Find, in everything that you do in your marketing, make sure that you take care of, diverse people looking at it, because we all have blind spots for sure. So it's why having an inclusive environment is not, it's fun, it's great. It shouldn't be hard. So you just naturally let it happen.
Yeah, that's something that I think we all should definitely be mindful of to build this decentralization movement, right? So a lot has happened in blockchain in the last couple of months, right? Especially the last month. We had Polygon reached like 3 unicorns. We had a Black Swan event. We had certain characters tweeting about different things.
We know who.
we know who. Yeah, there's. So what are some trends that you're excited about coming into the summer?
Isn't it the one thing that I've seen, and I was floored and happy, and I know it shouldn't be, but I was in the Black Swan event. Everyone crashed. It was like it was a bloodbath. There's no other way of looking at it, right? However, the ecosystem didn't crash, right? Like as a whole, if you look at such an event happening in traditional finance, that would have all the bankers going and knocking at the door of the governments to get subsidies and get help and pleading, oh my God, I'm going to go bankrupt, help me, right? So that would be like an existential threat for traditional finance. But DeFi said, okay, learn from it. I'm going to get better because of it.
Right.
Which to me says that DeFi is growing increasingly anti-fragile. And that's what we want. So we want a self-healing ecosystem where if there is, and there could be hacks, there could be vulnerability exposed, but that's the beauty of also code, right? Like until you see the vulnerability, I know it hurts people, so ideally you don't want to be there. But if that happens, then it's a learning point and everyone learns from mistakes. So that I really, I found it super interesting and encouraging as a message. Although everyone has been a bloodbath for everyone who's holding, but in the end, like you hold and you wait. And I think you look at, intrinsic value of what people are building and the quality of what is being built. Actually, like the other thing, what I've seen in the past 2 to 3 months, there has been an explosion, including NFTs, but the quality of what is coming out is amazing. Usability is coming, adoption is coming. Institutional players are coming. I cannot tell the secrets of who I see logging in and opening an account on Chainstack. And
you can tease us a little bit though.
Cannot. However, just know that big players are coming into the playground, including on Polygon, and that's amazing. That was unthinkable 6 months ago, which also means that they're being forced to do it, which means that is the most efficient and more usable way eventually, right? Otherwise they wouldn't bother. So that's a big step forward if you think about it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It was a bloodbath. There were a lot of liquidations. People lost a lot of money, but the systems in place to make sure that nothing fails were there. So yeah, we definitely proved how strong the like the ecosystem is, and people are rewarding us for it. Because as you said, like the banks would not have survived something like this.
Yeah.
Well, it was like
Yeah.
50% drop. I don't think any traditional company could survive that.
No, and here we are, right? We are still here, and it will happen again.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah,
But
they happen all the time.
yeah, but the more you go through them, the more the community is learning that it's survivable. So
Right.
it becomes immune from it. Like slowly, slowly, it may happen again. That's fine. No panic. Everyone is just,
Right. Well,
keeping their
panic a little
cool.
bit.
A little
If you
bit.
check Twitter, I don't know if everybody kept their cool, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Not everyone. Yeah, but it's okay. I think it's part of being also the exciting part of being in this industry. Like there's
Mhm.
not one boring day in crypto.
No, right. No.
For sure. Nothing is perfect yet, which is also exciting. Perfection is in many ways boring, right? There's
Right.
no way of improving.
So what are some places that you see, our ecosystem improving on? Like what are some challenges that you think DeFi is facing? Polygon and DeFi in general.
I think Polygon has done an amazing move on rebranding and on becoming a much wider play than just being one protocol. So having this idea of becoming really a tool for expansion and complementary platform to that of Ethereum is absolutely nailed. And I see that there will be complexities coming. I've seen also some play with the enterprise and business world, not just from Polygon, but from others. And I think that's very much needed because that's also where B2B adoption is going to happen, right? So,
Right.
yeah. And I see that the usability of the financial products is getting better. Also the messaging to the upside, not we are in a way in a bubble, right?
Yeah.
We're still like we're still a bubble of very niche. We are a small fraction of what is going to be the DeFi overall ecosystem once it's at its maturity. But more people are accepting. I know being in Singapore, for example, I don't know if you followed, but DBS, the local bank, I mean,
Right.
it's biggest bank in Singapore, launched a security offering. So that's crazy. It was just I think yesterday that came to the news that the ministry, essentially the finance ministry, have received 300 applications in Singapore for financial licenses, payment licenses, including Google and Alibaba. So the rails for payments are coming in DeFi. And we have to have an ecosystem that will sustain it. And I think it's happening. Stable coins are, and the interesting bit, I think, on stable coins, if you've seen also the trend with the USD, I'm not sure what is going to happen long term in terms of purchasing power of the USD, and those that are pegged to the USD will have their own challenges ahead. But having alternatives, whether they are algorithmics or even if they are just collateralized stable coins, it will be absolutely necessary for it for the entire ecosystem to sustain itself.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like the dollar kind of won there, because even though people are not using it, there's so much that's like tied to it within the ecosystem. But yeah, going back to Singapore, I think they're one of the few countries that are really doing things well, and they're like at the forefront of like the laws and stuff like that. I think in the US, people are still trying to figure out how they're gonna do things. Different states have different things that they want to push, so hopefully we can go the right way and go towards adoption, right?
Yeah, but it's always easier if you're a smaller nation. I think it
Right.
was about a year and a half ago, I was at a roundtable where one of the former SEC's chairman was there, and they were discussing Singapore as opposed to the US. And I think the main point is bigger countries are looking at especially states, a smaller state like Singapore or Malta or Luxembourg to experiment ahead of them and see how they can then copy best practices. And Singapore has taken like headstrong the role of cutting edge government in that sense. It's very enlightened. Also because they don't just want to have a place full of companies incorporated here for tax reasons. They want an entire ecosystem of projects to actually be based here. Like, it's crazy. Like, you walk around and you see people like, oh, I've seen someone from Brazil in a nice t-shirt, or you see people that are in blockchain that are actually based here. I think even Vitalik was in Singapore for quite some time.
Yeah, definitely want to go over there and check it out. We have so many people we know that are working out of there, and it seems like y'all are having a lot of fun. So
yeah, for sure, come along. It's nice food.
No, yeah, I heard you guys have really nice food, so that doesn't hurt, right?
Yeah, summer all year, and crypto, not bad.
Yeah, so you mentioned that we're just at the start. We have such a small percentage of what will actually be DeFi in the future. Where does Chainstack fit in that future?
Yeah, Chainstack is an enabler. Like, really, we want to enable the ecosystem to scale sustainably. So first of all, we want to make it as accessible as possible. Part of it is the quality of the nodes that they are resilient. You want resilient infrastructure. If your nodes is going down, everything else is going down. It's going back to basics. Right. You can have the best campaign, the best tokens. Your nodes are down. You're not running. That's it. Like, you're stopped, and you've also dented the trust in terms of of your own ecosystem. So that's what we want to do. We want to provide a resilient and diversified we cannot call it decentralized because, of course, Chainstack is one private company. We're not going down the road of being decentralized. However, we provide many alternatives. Some providers out there, they will only give you AWS, and in certain geographies in the US, that's it. With us, you can choose AWS, Azure, GCP, and actually we're introducing custom Kubernetes clusters. So essentially you can just, plug it into anything that you can configure on your own, even, on your own premise. And you can choose where you want to locate your nodes. And that's absolutely fundamental. And going back to the accessibility, right, the mission there, on the trading side, if you're looking at it, there are many barriers for the small players to actually have meaningful plays. There is a lot of competition, and having co-location of nodes, we've seen, does make a difference. If you have small budgets, sometimes that's out of the options for you, right? But that's what we do. Like, we have, for example, we can add the Tai Chi network or blocks route that will improving in a crazy way the speed of your transactions. You can co-locate your bots with the nodes in any locations or any cloud that you want. So I think for the ecosystem, you need to make it accessible and you have to make it resilient. That's the two messages, and Chainstack is playing on that. And the other thing is to look at being part of the community, because we cannot do this alone. We cannot be in isolation and then just sell stuff to people. That doesn't work that way. As a chief growth officer, I have many conversations every day. It's a beautiful place where I am now, because I get to know so many projects. And one of the latest one, for example, is QuickSwap, who is building on Chainstack. And we get to learn the challenges. And by learning the challenges, we can really improve what we do. But if you are not committed to widen your network and have a collaborative approach with all of your customers, that's not going to happen. So that's kind of where we fit with the growth of the overall DeFi ecosystem.
Wow, I didn't know QuickSwap was building with you guys. That's one of our unicorns, right, in Polygon.
Yeah, so crazy traffic.
Exciting.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah. I bet it's like crazy traffic. So I mean, if it's working on them, I bet it works with anyone, right?
That's a message that we want to kind of give out there, right? We are super accessible. Prices are the most competitive out there. But I mean, some are free. Like, literally, some of the nodes are free.
On there.
Yeah, the developer account, you have 3 million requests for free per month. On
Wow.
business, you have to pay 49 a month, but you get 20 million a month for free, included on the 49. And as I mentioned earlier, 350 you get unlimited.
That's
So
insane that you guys are able to have such like pricing, because I haven't seen that elsewhere.
yeah, we optimize like crazy. That's
Do you
what we
guys
do.
take crypto?
We do actually. We do.
Ooh, okay.
That's also another
Now you got my
interesting.
interest.
There we are. We are getting there. But that's also because we listen. Like people were coming to us and just literally say, "Can you do this?" or "Can you make
Mhm.
it more affordable?" And
Right,
we are very happy also to do like custom plans and custom configurations because everyone is different. So
right.
we
And
just
a lot of people don't have fiat, right? Or getting your crypto out of Polygon in certain regions can be a task, especially in the US. Like if you want to
yeah.
get it out, it's a whole thing. Although there's some, off ramps coming, it's still not quite there. So
Yeah,
I think a lot of
definitely.
Polygon startups would like to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, the ideal really would be to have like a full Web3 end-to-end journey, right? So you
Mhm.
have the entire infrastructure that is paid for in crypto, and it's running in a way that is sustainable. And then you build applications that are providing decentralized services to customers
Right.
that are paid themselves in crypto. So you completely off-ramp the traditional way, and
Yeah,
Chainstack
I
can
mean
just
that's
be
the
there.
goal. Like the goal would be to just never have to use fiat, right? Because it sucks. Like it's kind of betraying your decentralization heart, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I think it's a bit of a slow burn because project that payment rails are not as mature. Of course, they're
mhm.
just coming up, but it's coming. It's very fast approaching, maturity where businesses can just use them. So it's cool to see.
So what's in the pipeline for Chainstack? I know you guys have a lot of products, a lot of things you do. Is there anything new, anything exciting you guys are cooking up?
Yes, there is one major announcement, and I can see like I'm biting my tongue because I cannot tell. But it's a
Ooh,
major cannot. I'm so sorry, cannot. But you keep your eyes peeled. Follow us on Twitter, and you will be the first ones to know. Or subscribe to our newsletter. Go to our website and put your email. We have like 15,000 in our community was getting
yeah,
the
I
news
saw.
early. So just come around. So one major announcement, actually two in the next few months, but one quite shortly, and another half coming soon. So
Wow, you guys won't stay still. You said you were a boring company. It looks
yeah,
like you're doing a lot.
we are. I don't agree that we're boring, but that's what that's
No,
what
your words though.
CEO. I no.
Yeah.
It's very funny. Our CTO Eugene. We were at the Polygon Discord hour just on Thursday. He was trying to sell us as a very boring company. I was like, it's
No, and
okay.
it seems like you guys are doing everything.
Yeah,
And I
we
think,
are.
a lot of projects might be watching this. So sorry for your inbox, right? I think.
It's always welcome. Anyone who just want to, grab a virtual coffee with me anytime. Or approach most on LinkedIn. Just look for my name on LinkedIn. Very happy to connect and to widen the network in any way I can.
Perfect. So I don't know if you've gotten a chance to look into QiDao and what we do, but what are your initial thoughts on it and generally stable coins in the space?
Yeah, I think they're very necessary. I think that's it's part of the core infrastructure, and I love the name. I love how it positions itself as being a giver of stability, of balance, right?
Right.
And many people cannot use blockchain yet, or cannot be fully onboarded as part of the crypto because of the volatility,
Right.
and many product and many projects are actually held back because of that. And I think the variety of stablecoins is still very small, so it's a growing market for sure. There is a lot
Mhm.
of sophistication, and quite honestly, even algorithmic stablecoins, they it's still proven, but to a point. Like it's still very early days, so it's
Yeah.
exciting to see cutting edge engineering going, and seeing it's a marriage. And I think you guys are doing a brilliant job that way. The marriage of financial engineering and
Thank you. Thank you. I think Lau will be happy to
code,
hear that.
crypto, for sure. And I think the community is cool. You just launched, but it's growing fast. So
Yeah,
we
we're
are
definitely a
watching.
community project. There are engineers with us too, kind of rethinking how stablecoins interact with projects.
Yeah, for sure. And
Right.
your Discord channel is super active. I could see that there is a lot going on all the time. There's a lot
Right.
of chat. So that's a good sign, right? Seeing how people are engaging with the product in many different ways, and not just speculating or just buying and then just letting go, in a
Yeah, the
functional
pump and
way.
dump. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're trying to get kind of indoctrinate people as they come, and we have a couple of really cool champions that really push for us. Not just like helping people, but I like to say specifically an example, like somebody had made like a deck, like explaining, talking about what we should do, where we are, the competitive analysis, and it just shows how dedicated the users are to making this project work.
yeah, for sure. And that's the thing, right? When people believe in the mission that you're setting yourself, when they want to be part of the journey that is going to solve the pain point that you want to address, then it becomes a collective effort, which is
Right.
what decentralization is all about. Right? It's a co-creation with the people that are like-minded and are driven with the same type of incentives. So it's cool to see that you're doing exactly that.
Awesome. Yeah, and what do you think the community could do for Chainstack? What would be an ask that you would like to ask our community?
Just spread the word. Like we're there, but of course we're not, in everyone's mind when someone think about, infrastructure. And the message that I have for everyone is really, we are the most accessible platform with cutting edge engineering. So try us out. The developers account, the test account is free for, forever in many ways. And we have promotions going. Just test us out. Reach out, speak to us. Our engineers are very chatty as well. It's a kind of common thread. We tend to be very much invested into understanding everyone. So even if you have questions, by the way, we do have a dedicated channel within the Polygon Discord. So if at any point anyone within the Polygon community want to just grab us for a questions or two, even if it's not Chainstack related, anything that has to do with infra, like you've got problems with your IPC endpoint or something, just drop us over and post the questions.
Wow.
Very
Maybe
happy to support.
we should get you guys on our Discord.
If you want, very happy to be there as well.
Yeah, I think a lot. We've had so many questions about our PC endpoints, and I'm sure you are aware of the realities of that within the Polygon space.
Yeah, we just started one. Check us out. By the way, the other thing, check our PC endpoint, see if it is of any help. I know that what we hear from the community is that the most stable and the best performing as of now. Touch wood, of course, we're still early days.
Right.
But yeah, let us know if you. Also, we launched an Explorer for Polygon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but don't get too excited because it's still the same as the previous ones. But we
Because
put
I know they're
additional
sunsetting
resources.
the other one. We were talking to Block Vigil, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna kind of like stop doing that because somebody else was taking over." Like, is that you guys? Like, oh, okay, cool. Tell us the link. I love to.
I think it's you catch me absolutely unprepared. Just 1 second. I think it's on Chainstack Labs. 1 second.
I think our users would be very interested in checking that out.
It's Polygon-Explorer-mainnet at chainstacklabs.com.
Perfect. I think maybe if Kila can find it there, but thank you. Yeah, as a parting question, and we'll include the link on our Twitter so people can check that out. Who would you like to hear from next?
Oh, that's a very good question. There are so many. It's so amazing. So one that I think it's one of the under the radar project, but I think is going to grow nicely is Razor, and that's a Razor network. And they are. I don't think they have launched yet, but it's imminent. and it's an Oracle product. So it's a good alternative to Chainlink, but they are, they're taking like a different approach to Chainlink, and I think it's quite good to just take a look and see. So they are nice. Also, different from you guys, but still a stable coin. There is Mahadao who are doing a good job.
I haven't heard of them. Are they on Polygon?
Yeah, they are on Polygon. They are playing a lot. They're doing some crazy experimentations there. Cool. Everyone is doing. It's really interesting to see because everyone is doing a different play on similar issues, and we're going to end up with an amazing ecosystem as a whole. So it's quite cool. And then definitely, I don't know. There's so many. Arcane
Network.
Yeah,
there's every day. What's it called?
Arcane Network. They are doing amazing job with their white label wallet solution and NFT marketplace. So
I'm looking at them here. That's awesome. Yeah, I think there's a lot of everything. There's like a lot of stable coins, and they're all doing different things, like addressing different needs. Razer is cool because I think as a lending related platform, right? Price oracles have been something of a discussion. So it's cool. I'll definitely look them up.
Yeah, everyone is complementary, right? Going back to the ecosystem play, right? It's synergetic for everything.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I want to be mindful of your time, but thanks for coming on. You guys know where to find Chainstack. What's the best way of reaching out to you guys? Do you prefer LinkedIn? Do you prefer Twitter?
Twitter is fine. DMs are open, so just drop us a note. Very easy. Most of the time I am there. I'm the one answering. If it's not me, it's Eugene, our CTO. So you have like direct line to us on Twitter. It's super fast and easy to do that.
Awesome. Well, you guys see the Twitter right there. Make sure to say hi to them. But thanks so much.
Thanks a lot for having me. That was so much fun. Thanks a lot, Ben.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
You take care. Bye.